to the Pimp House. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Look, it's definitely a vibe. I was sitting there like, what is happening? Trying to boop, boop, boop. I was like, what? We're TikToking and everything was tested, but that's all right. We're going to keep it going and do what we do. Now, let's see what I'm working with. Oh, see, that's why I don't be wearing parts.
What's wrong with the part?
Well, because you can see my gray hair, so I just go ahead and, hold on, where am I at? Put some mascara on there because I only got a few gray strands.
I got like 3, but they're literally right in front, right at the very edge. So
yeah.
I just let them be.
Got to keep that mascara on standby. I only got a few, just a few strands, just a few people, just a few. So good morning and welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. I'm your girl Mel. We got some shop topics for the people. We're gonna kick it and go over them with the lovely analyst AmberDee in the building. Let's see if this works right. We doing it. Got it going. Good morning. I see you guys who are online. Hey. Good morning. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening. Let's start off right now with the shop topic. The shop talk question of the week. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you or should you consult with your mate before cutting your hair or changing your hair?
Yes. I think that's a yes. If you want to, if it's like a, I feel like it's the energy behind it, because I feel like women cut their hair for different reasons, but usually if it's a big chop, it's like you're going through a really transformative time in your life for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't think consent, but more like forewarning. Like, I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
Support me. Because I do feel like most women I know, when they cut their hair off, like, they going through something, and it's just like helps to give you a sense of control, or just to start fresh. It's a different, especially like people with locks, like. Especially in the Black community, I feel like cutting your hair off is like, it's a big deal. So,
do you think so?
Like, oh, don't do it if your man doesn't do it. But to me, usually it's an indication of like some big stuff is happening to you internally or in your environment.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think as females that are Black females that we cut our hair for a reason?
But like, I'm not talking like a trim. I'm talking like a big chop. Like, you cut.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the big chop. Like, okay, I'm gonna cut my hair and be like, boom.
Yeah, like go from like 8 inches to 1 inch. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
a whole transformation.
Exactly.
An entire transformation.
Exactly, because it does change your appearance. It does change your face shape.
You said to change your appearance. Baby, you ain't lying. When it was some people that sat there and they went natural because their peers were pressuring them, go natural, lead a relaxer, why you wearing makeup? I was like, girl, use a hater. Use a hater. Why you want that girl to go out there like that? If that relaxer is working for her, shout out to you, Madam CJ Walker, okay? If that relaxer is working for her, let her do her. I understand, and then, you have those that'll be like, oh, okay, well, the chemicals is bad for your health and blah, blah, blah. So is hating. Hating is bad for your health. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hating on, the creamy crack. I'm not hating on the creamy crack. For those who like it, I like the silk press. Oh, and I cut my hair. Bam! But you got to cut it. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Okay, do you really care about this person? Or are you trying to hate? Because what looked good for one person does not look that good to someone else. And here's my thing. While you sitting there talking about, oh yeah, it's bad for your health. Meanwhile, you frying them up a bacon sandwich, inviting them over for breakfast. Like, work with me.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, also,
Come on.
Like, my personal belief is that the way God created you is beautiful. And if you want to enhance your beauty, that's fine. And as far as like other health risks like obesity and poor eating habits, it's definitely a risk. But we're to a point in society where I have seen the ambulance chasing lawyer commercials about relaxers. Like, it truly is damaging. Like, it's like cigarette, maybe not as high as cigarettes, but it's up there for them to sue.
But here's the thing, true. But tomato. So if you know this, okay, that's well and good. If you don't know, inform me, because that's what we do on Shop Talk. We will inform you, keeping the people informed, and you make your decision accordingly. Now, I'm fine with that. Then I saw a friend of mine, no lie, but I got to be who I am. I do. I was with my mom. We at this store, and I see the person, she come up, and she was like, hey girl, how you doing? How you like my hair? Yeah. Yeah, she did.
But that's...
Wait, I ain't done. You know I ain't done.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, I answered the question. I did. I answered the question. I said, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. So, she says, she was like, huh? I said, whoever told you to do that, cut all your hair off like that. Girl, wear your weave. If you want to wear your weave, wear your weave. I said, somebody hating on you. Now, it looks good. What looks good on one person may not look good on another person. But you do have those people out there. I hate using the word hater, but let's just call a spade a spade. Honey, you have those people out there and they figure, oh, okay, well, she looking good. I'm about to tell her go natural so we can see her ugly. Oh. Or you had those, and listen, y'all know I got to do what I do. You have those who wear makeup and it's like, oh, you don't even really need makeup. I know I don't, but this is what I choose to do. Me, I'm a Carmex queen and a lip gloss queen. You ain't going to tell me about what I want to wear or what I need to wear. You know what I'm saying? And just like there's health issues in like lashes, if that's what you want to do and you feel as though that you look good, go for it and do it. But you're not going to convince me into doing something because in the name of health. Because people using that, they're using it to their advantage. You know she looking good and you don't want to wear that because you worried about what somebody else going to say. So I'm going to tell her you need to go natural. Let's all be bald. Bye.
Oh my God.
I done had enough. But I did. I told her, I was like, I don't like it. I said, you look a mess. Go ahead, put your weave back in if that's what you choose to do. And I like her when she put her makeup on. She's not a ugly girl, real, according to, I'm using air quotes for the listening audience, according to, people and how they choose, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We know that's politically correct. She's, if y'all could just see my face listening audience. But if that's what she's comfortable in, let her be comfortable. You ain't got to sit there and browbeat me on the way that I look, baby. I just met you, 20, 30 years ago. I've been doing me for a long time. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at on that. Now, as far as like cutting your hair, I think it's important because I'm not going to lie. If I'm attracted to the goatee, I'm attracted to a goatee. And he decide he need to find his youth and decide he going to come in there and decide, oh, okay, well, I'm going to shave everything off. We probably just broke up. Like, I'm a need for real. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm a need for you to consult me before you do a drastic change like that. And that's from me to a male. So I can only imagine from a male to a female. Now, I'm not talking about your girlfriend, your boyfriend. I'm talking about in marriage or committed. So a lot of people don't believe in marriage, but a committed relationship. Mm-hmm. If they met you this way, that's what they're attracted to. And then you come in and just change the game. I mean, come on. Is it fair when he leaves you? Or you be like, I did all this and he done left me. Clown, you just cut your hair off. He don't want to be with a grown man. Now, if you are sick, very different. Very different.
I think, you can wear wigs. I feel like it's just about what your comfortability is. Personally, I would not break up with a dude if he shaved his facial hair, because I know facial hair will grow back.
Listen here. Girl, you got an important event, and he decide he gonna change his look right before. You ain't going. I left you.
Yeah, but I'm not. Okay, so when I'm going to an important event, I'm the eye candy. So how he looks, he's just there to prop me up. So that sounds really self-absorbed, but that's really how I feel about it. Like, you just need to be clean and presentable, no holes, rips, tears, and matching clothes. I might, like we talked about this, like I'll pick your outfit out for you, but I'm not worried about it. Even balding dudes, I'm like, especially if they have a nice head shape. Some guys can carry off bald and some guys can't.
So you said you're okay. You're the prize. You're the one everybody's looking at. Mm-hmm. AmberDee, let me let you in on game. Baby, listen. That's fine. It's personal preference. It is. I like my arm piece to look fabulous too. Because we come in there together. But if you go into let's say the job's Christmas party.
Okay.
They don't know you, okay?
Uh-huh.
They just know you from work, but they don't know you. You learn so much about your coworker by their mate.
For sure.
That's why I don't take people to the Christmas party. You ain't seen me at the job's Christmas party, have you, with nobody? Nope, I ain't going. He ain't going. Nope, it's me by myself. This is what you get. But I need people to be attracted to who I'm with as well. So we both could walk up in that mug like, boom, I got somebody. Yes, I don't want I've never been wanting the average dude.
I agree. But I feel like for me, what is attractive is like the constants. You know what I'm saying? Like their bone structure, their height, their physique. That's not going to change just because they shave their facial hair off.
Girl, the look could change. What you talk about? You walking in there, you like, I got that dude, and then he shaved his face, come in there, throw some glasses on, looking like the black nerd. I don't want him. We ain't going. We ain't going.
Superman, Clark Kent-esque. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's something that's very interchangeable. So,
and I get that. I get it. It's interchangeable, but I need you to show off. We showing now, just like he tell you. Listen, if he's going somewhere and he has you as his arm piece, trust and believe that man is going to tell you or suggest, because some women have a fit, suggest what you should wear because what he likes you in. Right. So boom, same here. I'm going to suggest you wear this, pick it out. Boom, let's go in here. Let's show out. We high-fiving and everything. You killing them. Listen, for real. I need my dude to be the flyest in the room.
But, right, okay, but remember we talked about this and you were like, we were talking about like, picking out your man's clothes. You said, I'll make a suggestion. That's the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I will make suggestions and I want to be with a man who will defer to my suggestions.
Okay, listen, this is what you do. Ladies, if you make a suggestion and he's one of those people, take all his suits out the closet, put it in another room and just put the one. Okay. That's a good way to do it. All right, listen, we got, it's a question for you, AmberDee, and I am going to ask it. AmberDee, did you get more attention before or after your haircut, a chop?
I was married when I cut my hair off.
And so he was stuck in it.
Right, and then even then I was natural. I had been natural since I was pregnant that time. And so before I locked my hair up, I had an afro for like...
So you met him with the afro?
No. When I met him, my hair was straight and I didn't have any extensions or anything in. I think it was like, about shoulder length, not even shoulder length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I used to wear curls, loose wavy curls a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
This is a long time ago. It's hard to remember.
Okay. But so you changed. Did you consult him before you changed, or you just said, okay, I'm done with all of this?
No, sure didn't. Because at the time, that was a huge transformation. So when I found out I was pregnant, I immediately stopped relaxing my hair.
Okay, well, that's...
Right, exactly.
You can't get a relaxer during pregnancy. You shouldn't.
I gave birth. I had the hair fall, after you give birth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was distressing, and, we was going through a rough patch, and I was just like, shut up. Now what?
So you did it. You did it because out of resentment? It's like, I'm going to cut my hair out of resentment.
I just felt like the ship was sinking. I had just given birth, like literally, I literally think Ethan was like a month old or something like that, and I was just like, I guess it's going to be me and the baby. And I cut it off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you feel?
I mean, it was absolutely liberating. I would recommend every woman cut her hair off at least once in her life, because it's truly an experience. Especially, I think, Black women. If you've never worn your hair natural, it is. I feel like for me personally, there was a lot of internalized racism that I had to acknowledge, and what I associated with kinky or coily hair. And like, oh, I'm so ugly now. But it's like, but why am I ugly? My face didn't actually change. It's the same thing with cutting your hair short. And not every hairstyle is for every person, but I do think there is some validity to the question of how can you dislike the way your hair grows. It's not just like you in particular, like you're an anomaly, but this is specific to your race.
Okay.
So, I think it just brings up a lot of questions, and it's a great opportunity to reflect on yourself, and then, whatever.
It is. Okay, I cut my hair off. I did. The problem I had, it was like, oh, you cut your hair? I was like, yeah, I cut my hair for me. Boom, here you go. But when I cut my hair, it's not coily. Okay. It's curly. Okay. Now that's another problem. Oh, you got a texturizer. No.
No, I mean, your natural hair state is. Some people have.
But you got people out there, Silky Johnson haters out there, that is like, oh, you got this. I'm like, why can't I just be me? That's why I don't fool with people and their thoughts. I don't. This is who I am. You make the choices that's best for you. I'll make the choices that's best for me. I appreciate you and your suggestions. I appreciate you if you see a car coming and you're like, hey, Mel, there's a car coming. Boom. Thanks for the warning. I appreciate all that. I welcome it. But the final decision is going to be mine. And we're going to get a little... let me finish this. Noelle Fagan said it's a freedom. Salvage of YouTube said, I chopped mine off for my 30th birthday. So I guess the liberation. And Nathan W. of YouTube said, any attention from the outside guys? Answer the question. Remember the question at the beginning. When your hair was straight, did you get a lot of attention? When you cut your hair off, did you get a lot of attention? All from guys.
Okay, outside guys. I think it was less, because they've done, people have done little experiments and stuff. And I do think there is overall an aversion to natural Afro textured hair and not being seen as beautiful.
And that's terrible. So I think that's from, I think a lot of people project how they feel onto other people.
Well, and I feel like Black men can get away with their self-hatred because they tend to wear their hair short. So they don't like their kinky texture, so they can just cut it off and it's so short.
Oh, let's get this show started and we will dig a little deeper. You're listening to Shop Talk with Mel. Alrighty. I'm going to put the phone number up right now and I'm going to keep it going. Today's topic is confessions. Can you handle the truth? Fellas, can you handle the truth? The phone number here is 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. I'll repeat it throughout the show. There was a lot of people. I got a lot of text messages and messages on this topic. Actually, they listened to previous shows, so you guys check that out on your favorite podcast. And it was some females that was coming with it. So I'm going to ask these questions and I'll see your text if you don't want to put it out here or disclose who you are to protect the innocent. I got you. All right. The first one. Confession. How long do I have to wait before I screw? I ain't going to say the word, but it says F my ex-man's boy.
Your ex-man.
So you're in a relationship.
Okay.
You're done. Y'all break up. But
Okay.
you really wanted to get with his dude. So how long should the waiting period be before I sleep with his homeboy?
Okay, so I'm assuming that the homeboy is consensual, like he's down with it.
No, that's an ex.
No. I mean, the guy that I'm assuming it's a female, and that she wants to sleep with her ex's friend, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the friend that she wants to sleep with is already consenting. Like, he's ready when she's ready.
I don't know that answer, but I'm thinking probably not.
No, really?
I'm thinking probably not. So he probably don't even know that she's feeling him.
So it's not, the question is, when can I sleep with him is when can I start to pursue him or let him know that I'm interested?
Listen, I read the question. So that's just it. So I don't know. I can't put it into words.
Okay. So for me, I'm thinking, well, it depends on the relationship. Like with the first man, like were they married? Were they together for 5 years? If they dated for like 3 months or something like that, a month or two, you know what I'm saying? Like if it wasn't a serious relationship or it was very brief, then I think there's no harm, no foul. But if they were together for like 4 or 5 years, and then now she wants to get with his friend, maybe, and I'm interpreting the question as start to pursue him, basically, not sex,
Okay.
But I would say like a year.
A year?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm thinking the reason why she's asking is because she's worried about the ramifications and how she will appear and maybe how she will appear to the guy she wants. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because obviously they broke up, so she don't care what he thinks about her.
Right.
But she does want to maintain her image to the man that she's trying to sleep with. So
now here,
I would think
go ahead.
you need to give it some time so you don't appear to be a hoe in the man you desire's eyes.
Okay, so then there's me. Then there's me. I don't care what he think. I mean, to each his own. Do what you do. What they say, you grown, and you already know. So when you start the conversation off as we grown, somebody about to convince you into doing some whole stuff. You know, like just newsflash. I'm just saying, like for me personally, I'm not about to be the pass around. Personally.
Right.
But this question came from a female. So this question coming from a female, I'm thinking she out here like, listen, the dudes do it. He ain't treating me right. Clearly something was wrong there, and that's why he's an ex. So I really want to get with your dude. And is there a waiting period? Because some females feel like there's no waiting period for a guy.
Right. And that's why, and I feel like I said, the whole point of her asking cheating is because she's trying to maintain her respectability in someone's eyes. Not the exes, but probably the dude that she desires to sleep with.
But is it ever gonna be some respectability? Air quotes I'm using.
That is on an individual case-by-case basis, and she'd have to determine that by having a conversation with that man.
Okay, I got another confession. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, this is from a guy. The way that I get back at my girl, so if the girl cheats on him, this is it.
Okay.
I will fly her homegirl out, have dinner, and F her.
You're a cheater.
No, see, you missed the first part.
I get back at her. Well, that doesn't sound like.
But listen, that gotta hurt. That gotta hurt. So if a chick step out on a guy, okay, or whatever she does, hurt him or whatever, and she step out on a guy, his get back is to fly her somewhere, take her out to dinner, then screw her. That's crushing. That's crushing than the basic, like, okay, you just slept with her, whatever.
I mean, that sounds like that wasn't her friend to begin with. And I do feel like the whole get back thing, it's not effective because the initial hurt offense already transpired.
So you just say, just go ahead and just leave the situation, huh?
Yeah, because I feel like the only value of get back is if you're planning on staying in the situation, and you staying in the situation makes you look more desperate than cheating back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't.
But even if it's not cheating back, so say you leave the situation. If they leave the situation, that would be hurtful to me. These are confessions.
Not if they cheated. Not if they cheated first.
Well, no. You cheat first. I'll break up with you, and then I'm going to get your homegirl and fly her out.
But I feel like, based on things I've read about cheaters, they really don't care.
Right, but see, but it doesn't sound like he's cheating, though. He just left. She cheated. I left. I'm going to go fly your girl out, take her out, screw her. How you feel?
But he said get back. I don't know. That's not staying in the relationship.
No, see, get back to me. That be some get back. See, I don't look at it as staying in a relationship. I look at it as that's some get back. Like, we're done. I'm done with you. And now here's her. Here she is. Which would make me feel like, oh, you must have liked her the whole time. So you start reevaluating your actual relationship. I thought that was like it.
One cheating, but you cheated first, so it's like, were you even really invested in how he viewed you to begin with? Because you started cheating.
Yeah, she cheated. Right, she cheated first and hurt him, and he was like, "Okay, I'm out, I'm done, and this is my get back." That to me, that's a for real get back. That's a for real get back.
I don't know.
For me, it is. Even though we're not gonna be together, that's a get back that you be like, oh, it's different than, oh, okay, well, you just slept with her, bye, see ya, we're done anyway, whatever. But if you invested some time,
yeah,
and you put her on a flight, sound like you wanted her for a long time. That right there, listen, that's some pow type stuff right there. That would be it for me. Okay, I was reading salvage. Okay, you want to read the comment from Facebook? There it is.
Okay, so Tiffany Carter of Facebook said, right, that we grown, smiley face. I respond, what do you mean? Kids do it too. Right.
Yeah, that's funny. That was cute. I was like, hey, we got to read that comment. So, if he's not pleasing, do we let him know? Now, we know on the few shows back, we had Nate the Agitator on. And they said, oh, just tell us the truth. Tell us what you mean. Tell us yibbity yap yap. We can handle it. So, if you are listening, can you actually handle the truth? If it's on and popping and it ain't on and popping for her, and she tells you, how do you think they'll feel? What's your thoughts? Are you telling somebody, or are your homegirls telling somebody? Because you know we do girl talk. Like they had locker room talk. We do girl talk.
Right. Yes. In my experience, women absolutely tell. They're like, there's a meme, and it's the snippet from Grease, I think, where they're like, tell me more, tell me more. And that's how your girlfriend speak. You know, when you met a new dude. So I definitely think us women talk. I think you should absolutely tell your partner if it's not hitting. But, you know, there's a way to say it. And I feel like it's the environment that you've created with that person. But yeah, if it's not good, absolutely, you gotta communicate. Give them a chance to get it right or whatever.
Okay, so give them a chance to get it right for the next person.
No,
like you don't want to do that again. So if you with sir, or do you wait till after the relationship is over and be like, listen, there's some things I need to say, and then they be thinking you hating.
Yeah, and I feel like that is a hating strategy. Like, you absolutely should be talking in the moment. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't think that wouldn't blow the moment? You don't think that'll blow the moment?
In the moment, yeah. In the moment. Right there. Like, stop. Like, oh, wait. Yeah. Communication.
Okay. Communicate. I'm sitting here in my mind, I got this thought in my head, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So if he's not there and he thinks that he's there and he finishes outside of there, do you tell him? I got young people. I got this radio. I got young people. Y'all got to read between the lines.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this, and I stand by my position. Absolutely tell him. Like, and as I said in that episode, like, she should have said something in the moment. In the moment. And it could have been nothing. It could have been like, oh, my bad, or whatever. Laughed about it and kept it going. Or laughed about it, got some water. And
how you gonna laugh about that?
No, because I feel like humor dissipates tension. And so, and also and humor also removes edge, you know, from words and statements. So, yeah, just, you know,
depending on what you're laughing at.
In the moment.
Like Noel Fagan's Facebook said, ego busted.
Oh,
so.
No. Okay, so that to me is how you perceive sex. And to me, and I know because I'm a woman, and it can be very different for guys, especially like the first time. But to me, sex is not about your ego. It's about getting to know someone and connecting with another person on a physical level. And so it doesn't have anything to do with your ego. And then if this is your first time sleeping with that person, why would you know the way they like things?
Okay.
That's the point, is to learn.
Okay.
And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I like what Mel likes, and I like what Keisha down the street's like. No, Amber likes what Amber likes. And you wouldn't know that unless you went there with me. So
okay.
If you did, then I wouldn't expect you to know. And I think to me personally, it's very offensive when a man thinks that he knows how to please every woman. He knows how to please me just because he managed to please some other woman.
Okay. Noel Fagan said, not everyone thinks this way, Amber. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. Look. Okay. Well, hopefully they got theirs. Now look, I'm still stuck on that one. That was her confession. She into the dude. Now let's talk about our locker room talk that we don't have.
Okay.
Our spa talk. Fellas, confession. We do talk about the pass around dude. Things have changed. And yeah, I know like the ball was in y'all park at one point. But we do be like, oh man, oh, you was with him? Yeah, he was with so-and-so. You're the pass around and nobody wants you.
And you're gross. Like my husband was like, he's gonna throw your pH off, girl. Like, I'm like, you need to go to the doctor, boo. Like, even with a condom, I wouldn't, ugh. Yeah, pass around dude is like, is he worth bumps? Like, is he worth getting the bumps for?
Is he worth bumps? I'm sick. Oh, man, that's funny.
No.
I'm done. Is he worth the bumps?
Is he worth getting the bumps? Like, no. And I feel like most women are like, no dick is worth having your pH off. You
okay.
know? And I think that's why women take cheating more personally, because we're more susceptible to disease and infection. And then, like freaking Nick Cannon, talking about, oh, women's things stink. It's like, you're the ones making it stink, probably. When they get, out here swinging that thing around like a helicopter.
Yeah. So, did you see that? Yeah. When he said, I was sitting there like, what? Yeah. Like, no, it's not like, normal. And who you dealing with? And you okay? I don't know. If I was a dude, I'd be like, I ain't going there. Like, it don't smell right. Bye. But here again.
The other thing that kills me, these dudes will talk about, oh yeah, she stink down there and it was fishy, but you still hit. So how? It must have not smelled that bad because you were still getting it in.
Okay. Would you like, let me get some ketchup or hot sauce? What we doing?
Okay, some Lawry's.
Some Lawry's seasoned salt. That's what it is. Then you go down there and taste it, like, oh, this salt, oh, salty. Okay, cornmeal. We fried this. Look, they fried this hard. This was fried hard.
Okay, so I just feel like, as personally as a woman, it's hard for me to validate their feelings when they're talking about a woman's odor, because they will still have sexual relations with said stinky woman.
But I really feel like he needed to tell her that. You want to go to the comment, Amber?
Okay, so Charles Lilly of Facebook said, please, by all means, tell me what you like before we engage. Even teach me how to make love to you. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, well, I wouldn't even expect a man to know how to please me because we've never done it before. And I do think there's a level of arrogance. Oh, my goodness.
It is a level of arrogance, but I think that men should tell women, like, if it ain't smelling right, like, boo, do something.
Yeah, I absolutely.
Instead of guessing, do you have a yeast? Like, my homeboy one time, I'll never forget, he was talking to me. He was like, listen, it was 3 of them. I got more friends as guys. They were sitting around, we're in college, and we're in the dorm, and it's them 3 and me. We downstairs. And he was like, oh, man, she had the yeast. So, wait, I'm like, the yeast? It was like a big thing. So, he told us what he was like. He's like, oh, man, she had the yeast. Man, listen, I was like, are y'all talking about a yeast infection? It was so funny because it was like the yeast was like a straight up STD, like you don't want to get the yeast. So, I'm laughing, and what up, Mont? Look, I can tell. Look, it's been so many years ago. They all sitting there laughing and talking. And I was like, well, that's not like a STD. I was like, the yeast can come from too much pasta, high blood sugar, which I knew back then, too. I was like, there's so many things that could come from. However, yeah, you guys are external. So if you don't clean yourself well and you have the uncircumcised, you could be carrying the yeast and passing it along, okay?
Right, and yeast is naturally occurring. It's on everyone's skin, but there are different strains.
It is, and how does it grow? Dark, warm, damp places.
Exactly.
There you go.
There are strands of yeast that are like really strong, like they're super yeast. So, I mean, definitely some
baking biscuits. Come up there and be like, oh, you need some algal syrup? Oh, okay, so Derek Clark of Facebook said, no woman should smell unpleasant. Like, what WTF raised you? Okay. And would you tell her, Derek? Would you tell her? That's what I want to know. So we're going to wait for his response. What? Not the dirty sleeves. He's silly. Talk about not the dirty sleeves. Talk about uncircumcised. Penis. That's what that is, the dirty sleeves. Okay. Let's talk about the camel toe.
Okay.
Is that, and I know my fellas is on there. Y'all can text. You can text 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. And I'll read the response there without giving your name. Is the camel toe sexy? What you think, Amber?
So when I think of camel toe, I think of the poster, or was it CD cover of, I think, Lil Kim maybe, or Nicki Minaj, but they were like squatted down and their legs were spread. That's what that makes me think of.
Oh, that's Lil Kim. That's iconic.
Exactly. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. So that's what I think of as far as sexy camel toe. I think there's an appeal to that. But when I think about real world day-to-day application of camel toe, it's like someone who has like a fupa and they're wearing leggings and it's not flattering. Yeah,
the moose knuckle. Okay, I know about the moose knuckle. Derek Clark, I see you. We know about that. But that would be a fupa with the seam of the pants pulled all the way up. Like,
right, no, it would be a combination fupa, camel toe.
A combination, okay, the camel toe is a combination of the fupa and the vagina.
Fupa is like the little flap of fat above your genital.
Well, we know it. Fupa, that stands for F, fat, U, upper, P, you already know, and the A stands for area.
Area, right.
Okay, the fat, upper, P area.
Right.
So, oh my gosh. So Derek Clark said not the combo. I'm reading these because it's important for the listening audience that can't see, the comments down here, but these funny. Y'all off the hook. That's what's happening. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel and you can check it out. You can read these comments for yourself because I'm putting these up here. Still putting them up there. Try to get all of them. Not the combo. Now, I don't think that's like really flattering to me. Like,
I mean, I think it's very sexual, like I said, with the Little Kim reference. That's my first thought, especially into how it can be appealing. Or, like,
so I didn't see a camel toe with that one. I just saw her, like, squatted down. I guess, if
you can
like,
see the lips.
Oh, see, I ain't even pay attention to the print, because I ain't interested in it. But if it's a camel toe, a huge, like the camel toe underwear they selling, if it's something like that, I'll be like, oh, that is not attractive. Let's go with this. Let's talk about the shaving. If a guy wants you to shave your vagina bald, do you have any thoughts, or any of your friends? Do y'all talk about that part of it? Like, have y'all had that conversation? Because we had some conversations about it. A man wanting it clean.
I mean, I prefer it clean, so we would just be on the same page about that. But if it was an opposite thing, like I like it clean, but he wants it hairy, I don't know. I would be like,
but what's the consensus or the thought behind? Because it's like I think like the younger generation now. I know there's a lot of females that actually they go get waxed, ouch, and clean. Now I'll tell you what me and my girls think.
Okay.
And all of us don't agree, but most of us do. If a guy asks for that, you'd be like, "Do you have pedophilia tendencies?" Like,
right. Yeah. And I think that I think that depends on other, like, there will be other indicators that would be a concern. To me, it's about a lack of friction and sensation, and like rug burn, and so no, seriously, it's a thing. It can definitely happen. So I just if there's other indicators, then yeah, absolutely. But even for a male genitalia, I prefer no hair. Like I'm a hairless person down there. I just
the hairless cat.
just nothing. Yeah.
Okay. Right. She off the chain. That's funny. Okay. So we have. Go ahead. You want to read it?
Okay, so Derek Clark of Facebook. I can't speak for all men, but I know I prefer it clean. Ain't nobody got time to be down there flossing.
Flossing your teeth. That's what she said when she laughing. Now, I could kind of get that. I got it coming in here. I got them coming in here.
Okay.
All right, I got you. We gonna get going, and we gonna keep on. Look, we'll keep going. I'll read those comments right after I get this. Shaquille O'Neal did an interview about his ex-wife Shawnee. He said, "This is his confession that she will always be his wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's remarried
Mm-hmm.
to Pastor what's his name Henderson."
Okay.
So, what's your thoughts on that?
To me, it's just a public admission that he has probably a lot of culpability in the failure of their marriage. That's all that is.
He definitely did. So you treat her like crap, but then you're gonna go public and say she's still your wife. How disrespectful is that to her current husband? Mm-hmm. Of course, he's gonna have big shoes to fill, which he got anyway. I don't know what size Shaq wear, 21 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
But come on. But we know Superhead talked about that, so y'all looking
right. And see, that goes back to that thing.
That shoe size doesn't matter.
Well, not the size. Well, I remember from because I did purchase her book and I read it.
I read it too. It was good. Y'all better cop that book.
That was a good book.
It was.
But as an avid reader, that was a good book. But, yeah, I remember talking about like he was sweating profusely, but you could just watch him on the basketball court and knows that he sweats profusely.
Yeah, but she said for his shoe size, she was totally surprised. She said it was like sitting on baby furniture.
Okay, so I personally had that experience and I was so shocked. I had to Google it, and it is true that men, girl, you know my research skills kicked in.
We know Amber the analyst.
What is this sorcery? And yes, it is quite true. Men over, I want to say 6'4", their genitalias are exactly, Derek, are actually disproportionately smaller. The whole it'll be proportionate to their body. That is no longer true once a man is over, I believe it's 6'5", 6'4", or 6'5". There's a great possibility that man's genitalia is average or even below average. Now you know.
Superhead said it.
Yeah, and I can.
I was surprised.
And I can confirm that from my own personal experience. It's true.
Wait a minute. AmberDee the analyst. Now you was like, hold on a minute. Now there's something wrong. Let me go ahead and Google it.
Yes.
There has to be a reason for this because this is not happening.
Right.
There has to be some research on this. I'm done.
I was so confused.
The anticipation to be like, okay, yeah, it's about to what?
Right.
Or the great dancer. And then you be like, the rhythm's off here.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I feel like you can't, it is not good to judge based on the hand size, the foot size, his height, whatever. You just don't know. And I feel like at this point in the way the dating market is in America currently, just ask.
Just ask. What did you say a couple shows back when he what did you say? He asked how much you make and you said what?
But I said, how big is your dick?
I think that's fair exchange, right? Is that fair exchange?
You're asking a very personal personal question. I think men especially understand asking about finances is a very private matter. So if we're going to get into the private questions, yeah. And yeah, ladies, let's be honest here. Size does matter. And, if he's just not there, personally, I wouldn't want to waste my time. I, put him out of my rotation. I can replace you with another more promising candidate.
Okay, roster dating. There you go. I ain't mad at you. Because my philosophy, I'm single until I ain't. Okay, keep it moving. Look, keep it moving. So you say that size does matter?
Yes.
So if they short, just keep it moving. Just spin the wheel. The Rolodex, keep going.
Their whole body is short?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, correct. Exactly. If they're short, then no. And I should really I had a man ask me about that. And what he called it? A chalky? A chody? A choli? Anyways, I had to Google the word because I ain't never heard it before. And it's called a short, thick one, right? That's what the term is. And I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, he told you what he had.
Yeah, because I asked. And I was just like, he was like, oh, so you don't like a choli or chuli? I don't know, whatever, some word. And so I had never even heard that word. So I Googled the definition of the word. And that's what that is. That's what that means. And I was just like, nah, I've never had one, but no thanks.
Now, someone said short dudes get no respect from women, but they say that midgets got it going on.
Exactly. That's why I clarified his height or down below. Because exactly, short dudes be packing. But that's a lot of women, again, back to Shaquille O'Neal. Women assume that their genitalia will be proportionate to their body, and it's just not the case.
So how many times have females put up with so much stuff knowing that they ain't got it going on? Like, listen, I was just working with you, and then you got the nerve to sit there and try to be like you all that and something going, hold on now. It ain't that.
But
so do you tell him, like, you're not putting it down, sir?
And that's why, to establish a foundation of honesty and open communication, you have to tell the truth from the beginning. And I think historically, women have refrained from being honest about bedroom activities because there's a lot more social pressure and respectability politics going along with that. Whereas now we're moving further and further into the sexual revolution, and it's like, if you actually would like to, as a woman, because this is a part of taking accountability. Mm-hmm. If you want to have a satisfying sex life, you need to communicate to your partner. So it's kind of like most of it is on you. If you will not tell the man what he's doing well and what he needs to improve on, or how you like things or how you don't like things. Also,
so now women are changing the game where they're like, no, I'm out for me. So now women are actually saying this is not working for me versus how 20 years ago they weren't.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't ladylike or you were deemed a whore.
Right.
So now it's changing up. Women are taking control. Like, sir, this is not it. Buy him out. And then he folded up on the couch with a blanket.
I don't think it's not saying it's not it or you're not. Because I think when you're talking about effective communication, putting out another person is really ineffective. But just verbalizing that I am not satisfied. I do not like this sensation. I have not achieved a climax. Really not telling the person what they're doing wrong, but just having a voice for yourself and your own feelings and needs. Having the comfort or courage or audacity to be true to how you're genuinely feeling, which is not satisfied.
Okay. Now back to the pass around.
Yes.
And that's a real thing, fellas.
Yeah.
Y'all get talked about.
Yeah.
And I remember back in the day, it was Don't ever talk about how good your man is in bed because your homegirl will be waiting for her turn. Well, now I noticed that chicks is like, oh yeah, he got it going on. Go ahead. I don't care. So y'all just like a piece of meat now. I want to know, how do you feel?
You're not in a relationship.
True.
And then also, I feel like if the dynamic of your relationship, you weren't emotionally invested. Like, we talked about this a few episodes ago, like the one ex that you would be mad that your friend dealt with, but then you have other exes, like, you didn't really care if they dealt with because you weren't emotionally invested in the connection, right? So it's like, especially if you're like roster dating and it never even got that far, then it's just like, oh, well, maybe you can get it. Or especially if you're roster dating, and then also if you're looking for like a sugar daddy or you're looking to reap benefits from your connection, then I don't really see anything wrong with it. And again, it goes back to you as a woman verbalizing to your friend, like, oh, like, you can't mess with him. Like, that one's close to my heart, or like, I would feel some type of way if you talk to him. But that's not every single dude you've ever been with.
True. Now, when I remember you did the research on sugar babying. Mm-hmm. So with the sugar babies, I'm trying to figure out, is there a consensus on what they do, even though it's what the guy actually wants? You know what I'm saying? What his request is. But is there any mental connection regarding like the sex thing? Or it's like, okay, I got to sleep with head and shoulders, which y'all call them choppies or something like, what did you call it?
Yeah, I can't even remember.
I'm about to check it too, and I'm about to listen. What is a chalky?
I learned a new word.
Okay, created a new one, the chalky. Short and fat. But you know what? But what good is it though? What is a short and fat? Like,
I mean, I guess if as a woman, if you prefer like a sense of fullness or expansion over a sense of depth, penetration, then you would still be satisfied. And then I think medically, you can reproduce with like 3 inches. Like you don't really need a lot. And then you can utilize different positions to gain greater depth and things like that. I guess some women are into it.
Is it a chode? What did you call it?
I don't know. It was started with a C.
Well, listen, I looked it up, ladies and gentlemen. I looked it up. Let me get my stuff together. Let's get going here. I looked it up, ladies and gentlemen. And it is called a chode. A short, fat penis that is wider than it is longer. The area between the scrotum and the anus, derogatory term used as an insult. Mm. So now that's the Urban Dictionary. That's the Urban Dictionary, peoples.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I call that head and shoulders.
But I think it's in Webster's too, because when I googled it, it had 2 definitions, and I don't think it was I think it was Webster's, and it was the same definition.
Okay, now, okay, fellas, come through. Some dudes want to be passed around.
Most dudes want to be passed around.
Some of them don't.
True.
Some of them don't. I had a conversation, and it was, I ain't trying to be, don't put it, that's when I was younger, like, don't be putting me out there like to pass around. You taking the pass around to the family reunion, we own you, dude.
Ew. That's okay, that's like, as the woman, like, that's when you look at her in shame, like, you falling so hard, like, you're that desperate.
But what if she doesn't know she got to pass around?
Then a real friend would tell her. A real friend would tell her he's a pass around.
He came to the reunion though. When you go to the reunion, you be like, oh, this is for real. Because you don't take anybody to the reunion.
Exactly. And a good friend would tell them, like, he slept with half of the city. Like,
and how do you leave that situation though when you already invested?
I mean, to me, that's a relationship ending revelation, because I feel like unless he alluded to it, that to me that is willful omission of pertinent information.
So should that be brought up on the first date?
I mean, not the first date, but before sexual interactions occur. Yes.
Be like, so how many bodies you got? Do we really ask that question?
Maybe not bodies, but just like, kind of like not your sexual history, but kind of like how do you relate to sex or your sexual partners? How do you feel about sex? Like an open-ended question that, not because it's not a yes or a no thing or like a solid number. And I do feel like, okay, maybe a man had his wild youth or whatever, sowing his oats, and it's just like, okay, if he's not there currently, it's okay for me personally, speaking as an individual.
Uh-huh.
But, if it was like 6 months ago and he's like, no, I'm a new person now, I'm like, please stop lying.
Your old problems gonna come to this new spot. Like, hello. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I'm not experienced, but then let me reword this here. I'm reading it. Sorry. Okay. So she's not experienced. And then when she get in the bedroom, he's saying she's phony. So, okay. I think I got it. So you don't want the girl with all the bodies. But she's phony when she gets in there. So what do you really want? So
help me out here, Mel, because I'm trying to get clarity. So with the word phony, does that mean like
boring? You're boring in the bedroom. You don't want her to be experienced, but she's boring in the bedroom. But we know with practice comes perfection.
Right, that's the lies of men. And this is something that's been really well studied, like the Madonna horror complex. That's why, in my opinion, the decentering of men and women's lives is critical. You need to do what's best for you. I literally just read a post, I maybe can try to find it, where this woman was explaining how there is a segment of women, it's very prevalent in the Christian community, who are bitter and angry because they followed the rules and they did what they were supposed to do, and they were not rewarded for following those rules. And this to me is like kind of along the same lines, where you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm modest, I have a low body count, I'm a virgin, and then you don't get the good outcome you were promised. And that's because it's not a guarantee. And so just doing what's best for you and prioritizing yourself is what's going to ensure you're satisfied with the outcome, because no one can control the future. No one knows what their outcome is going to be. And I feel like this group of women, they become incredibly embittered when they say women who didn't follow the rules still getting the reward at the end.
Well, yeah, because I'm just paraphrasing, because we've heard it. The hoes are getting the husbands.
Exactly. And I think that there are women, instead of being like, let me reflect on this, they're sitting here mad at the hoes.
And how do we fix that?
Because those women are living their life centered on men and the approval of men, even though when they gain the approval of men, they still don't get the reward. And then you're seen as undesirable, boring, a bad leg, and dismissed.
and dismissed.
And then dismissed.
All right, let me go ahead and respond to the young lady from a male. He said, if you're really into her, you'll work with her. That's good. That's good to know. What'd you say?
I said, obviously he wasn't. If he's sitting there calling her phony, like if he told you to your face
that you're
a phony, then he's not feeling you. Because yes, if he knew you were inexperienced and he was into you, he would be. And there's a lot of men that appeals to them, being able to teach a woman how to please them in the bedroom. So he don't even like you like that. I would kick him to the curb. Don't even worry about it.
Now see, that's what. Here we go. That's why this is the topic. This is the topic for this very reason. So, confessions. Can you handle the truth? You said if he told it to her, to her face, I would kick him to the curb. But or he could have just sit there and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I'm going to go kick it with this person that's going to set me off.
Exactly. And I think that because what she's saying is like, he told me I was phony. Like we said, in contrast, there are men who I will teach you. You know what I'm saying?
All right, watch this response from a fella. And it could have been phony because she wasn't into you sexually.
And that's why I asked for clarification in the beginning. Like, what did he think she was faking it, basically? Or she was just a bad leg?
I don't know. Could have been a bad leg. Who knows?
Right.
Listen, I don't know. But what I do know is that this is deep. And I don't think people can really handle the truth. You want the truth. And if we were to sit down and have a conversation and have those hard conversations, hard, using the air quotes, lovely people, conversations, can you handle it? It's like, I want this. Or they'll be like, okay, this is my partner. Let's sit down. Let's always be open. But both parties are not always open in fear of hurting the other person. So is it love over satisfaction?
No, I think that it just comes down to communication. I did want to say that because we took it down the path of she was a bad leg. But if we take the alternative path of he was saying he felt like she was faking it, then my question to her would be like, okay, you are inexperienced. Do you think you may have been exaggerating or doing what you've seen in pornography and you weren't actually being genuine to yourself and your own feelings? And he was able to pick up on that.
Okay.
So
I think that when you deal with truth, you ought to be able to communicate. So let's take it even out of the bedroom and just take it just in conversation. Okay, well, I don't like the way that you was talking to her. And then he on some, you're jealous.
You're insecure.
And insecure. Now what? Like, I don't like the way, and here's what that means, fellas. I don't like the way I felt, the way that you made me feel communicating with her. Mm-hmm. And you have that conversation. And I would just think, I don't like the thing for men, so I need you guys to reply. But I would think that if this is what you want and you're making me feel this way, you will want me to tell you that. Jealousy, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as disrespect.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling some type of way, especially if it's not a jealous person. And fellas, there are telltale signs of a jealous female. Just as there is telltale signs of a jealous man. And it'd be like, you come off, oh yeah, I'm confident, I'm secure, but then you jealous. You rolling your eye. Why are you rolling your eyes at me? That's what I noticed with men. Men will roll their eyes at the female. Now, I don't know what look they get a girl, but they'll roll their eyes at the female and have an attitude of you like, what happened?
Yeah.
But you know who you got with. And she was clearly attractive when she caught your attention. That's how you got with her. So help me understand what's going on.
I mean, I feel like it really comes down to like respect and just communicating and having awareness of yourself, of like what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. And then also in dating, when you're collecting the data, just observing that person and how they move and not thinking, well, I can change him. I can change her. If I just tell her that I don't like that, maybe you should just accept that that's how she moves. That's how she interacts with men. And it makes you feel uncomfortable. Or vice versa. That's the way he interacts with females. He has a bunch of female friends. And maybe that's just not for you.
Yeah, that's not your person. You want to read the comment?
Yeah. So Rodney Douglas of Facebook said, yeah, tell me if I'm doing something that makes you uncomfortable. I won't know if you never tell me. Exactly.
Okay. And then gotta respect the feelings of the partner. Now, I agree. I do agree with that. However, look, you can respect the feelings of the partner, but if you know that what I'm getting ready to say, I always be like, what I'm getting ready to say may offend you. And that's not my intent. My intent is to get this off because it's offending me. Right. But now we both offended. I got to say exactly what it is. I got to say exactly what it is. And I think people, if that's your person, you should be able to communicate with them.
I agree. I feel like when it comes to having, because you can Google articles. Again, this goes back to like if you have a strong, burning desire, you will find a way. But you can Google articles on how to have more successful, difficult conversations in the workplace, in your intimate partner, with your family members. Like there are proven strategies to help two parties work through a difficult topic.
And you know what that strategy, what I've learned? You know what I've learned from that and looking at the research and going to all the in-services and seminars, how to communicate with people at the workplace. Okay, I'll learn to communicate with you because this is the workplace. But when I'm at home, why can't I just be me? Why do I have to sit there and sugarcoat, put some whipped cream and a cherry on top to tell you I don't like that? Focused on your feelings. Like that is not okay. I just feel like, okay, so I'm at the workplace and this is what I'm doing and I'm the boss at work. And now guess what? I want to take that boss hat off once I go home. And I've been in that. It's like, no, I don't want to be in charge when I go home. I'm in charge all day long. That's not what I'm trying to do. So it's like, let me take that hat off. Here you go. This is how I feel. This is what I want. I should not have to go read some books to figure out how to not hurt your feelings. When in actuality, while I'm doing all that, trying not to hurt your feelings, you're not getting the point because you keep doing the same stuff. And then when you up and leave, they'll be like, oh, what happened? Man, I've been saying this for about a year and a half. Like, come on. But if I tell you off top, listen, you about to get cheated on. I used to be like that. I'm like, oh, you about to get cheated on. And I'm telling you the truth, about to. I'm not saying you got cheated on. I'm telling you, you're about to get cheated on. Don't be surprised. And then they're like, well, what did I do? Blah, blah, blah. What are you not doing? Because here's the thing. If that's your guy, to me, your man's responsibility is to ensure that you don't want another man. That's my thing. So, yeah, go and think about that. I'll let you put your thinking cap on after the show. Real talk. If you're gonna take the place of all of these people, because let's talk about roster dating. So you got your 5, you got your lineup, your starting lineup. This is the grass cutter. This is the dinner guy. This is the joke guy. This is the higgle some pocket change. This is your concert guy. I'm just giving you some scenarios. So with that being said, if you want to be my man, understand that you got to be the dinner guy, the joke guy, the pocket change guy, the concert guy. You got to be all those people so that we don't desire anything else. And ladies, stop lowering your standard because somebody don't want to meet your needs. And yeah, I'm on my soapbox. Put it on there because I see it happen so often. How can a guy tell you before he even steps in? So this is the preface, ladies. If he's telling you, so what do you like and blah, 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 and y'all just cool. So he's thinking about dating you, but you just still like friends. And then they try to tell you to lower your standards. Why? So you can meet them? No, sir. I need you to come up to my standard. And I'm back to what Iyanla Van Zant said to the girl. What was her name? The girl that said she wouldn't date a guy that drove a bus.
Ebony Williams.
There you go. So with her, real talk, I understood what she meant. And she was like, well, does he own the bus company? Here's the deal. If you are accustomed, we as females, and the way that we've been doing it, real talk, the way that we've been doing it, because a lot of women have been running households forever, especially the black woman. If I'm here and I'm accustomed to this certain lifestyle and you can't meet me here or at least take care of yourself, I'm not willing to say you my man to get a title and to drop my standards because now I got to support you and me. And it's like, no, I'm used to eating here. This is what I want to do. And if dating you is going to have me not eating at the restaurants that I'm used to eating at because we can't afford it, but I could afford it without you, bye. It ain't gonna work. You got to step up, get a second job, do whatever you got to do.
Well,
Figure it out, or just keep moving, and we can just be cool.
Yeah.
But I ain't that lonely. It's too much Dizzle out here. That look, too many Dizzle requests and everything else. Like, come on. Even though we know that the ratio is what the ratio is, so we talked about that. Still, it's people out there with other chicks. It's like, hey, yeah, I can break you off periodically. Hey, no problem. Good. Go on back. Give her the stress. I'll chill. I ain't mad at that chick either. Go ahead. Yeah. Because again, if you ain't claiming them on your taxes, you single. I'm single till I ain't. Real talk. Go ahead.
Man, I forgot what the man. What that originally, you done took us on a whole journey, man.
I took y'all for a ride, baby. Come on, y'all. Look, a fantastic voyage. I ought to play that.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, though. I'm just so tired of, people saying, hey, they want the truth, but they can't handle the truth. And even outside, like I said, outside of relationships, even like your family members. Oh, you talk to me, tell me this and that. Your church, this was the one I got. Church hurt. Here we go. Mighty, I'm going to read it first, y'all. Sorry. And then I can rephrase it.
Okay.
Because, sometimes, okay. All right. I think I got it. So, mighty funny that church folk always want to judge. So she's pretty much saying church folk are judging her on actions that she's doing, but it was okay when they were doing it.
Yeah. It's so crazy because when you meet an old person, they're like, I remember when I was young. And I'm like, yes. Like, because I do feel like people, like, forget their youth. But it's refreshing when you meet an older person and they, the memories are fresh and they remember how it felt to be young and, just that whole period of your life. And I think I feel like some older people will forget their own youth because they want to have a sense of superiority. They need to have somebody beneath them they can step on. Okay, so you think that's just an elevation tool? Yeah, to elevate themselves. How about this? Thou shalt not commit adultery. You should not deal with her because she married. Okay, thou shalt not fornicate. And you with who? Yeah. Yesterday or last week? Okay, thou shalt not steal. You got her food stamp card. Oh, shots fired. Where is my sound effects? There you go. Like, where is my sound effects? Sound engineer. Okay. But isn't that interesting that you'll have those, and it's like, okay, yeah, but you have those who will speak on it, or you lying every day. Like, come on. Yeah. Look at Derek. Look what Derek said. Not the EBT theft. Right. Look, it's hard out here for a pimp. Right. We hungry. Like, folks hungry, but really, it's like no sin is greater than the other. And it's like, okay, so you have something to say on this, but not that. Or on this, and you're doing that. I just look at those type things, especially when you want to pass judgment on people. I look at that as self-reflection. So what are you not doing so right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, and that's why a lot of people don't go into the church. A lot of people are like, no, I'm not going in there because I'm getting browbeat. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Or do I come here to, what is it? A church is a hospital for the sick. Okay. So you go there to get healed. We're all up in here to be healed. But when you get there, you got somebody that's already sick telling me about my sickness. Man, get out of here. Go somewhere. Get out of here before that transfer over on me. I don't want what you get. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't no killer, but I know some killers. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop. Stop. You have to work. You have to, self-evaluate and be like, okay, well, how easy is it for me to see what's wrong with that person, but not see what's wrong with me? Or how did I feel? Or how would I feel if somebody was saying that to me? You know what I'm saying? Pray for the people. And isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Mm-hmm. So you have that as well. How about those who can't tell their children that they're wrong and they always take the side of their child?
You are setting the foundation for an adult with a personality disorder. That's what I would say. Like, don't do that.
Not a Jeffrey Dahmer, please.
Right. Like, oh my goodness. Like, narcissist, sociopath. Yeah.
Okay. When you see, let's just speak on the issues that a lot of teachers have that I witnessed, where you would try to correct a situation that you see with the child. Not all teachers, because you got some bad apples in there that try to infect the whole tree. But when you have those teachers that see that there's an issue and the parent is automatically jumping on the side of the child and not knowing the entire story, what would be your suggestion in that case?
Try to see the good in people. So I'm thinking it's more likely to be a first child or only child. And I'm hoping that they're probably very young. And so they're still in they still see their child through the innocent baby eyes. And it just kind of takes some experiences, some situations for the parent to realize that your child is infallible and, they're wrong. Sometimes they have a devious side, as all children do. And hopefully it's something that will naturally you will grow out of as a parent. And I feel like new parents, and it's like they put their child into some kind of care facility or education setting, and then they get their first bad report. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But it's like a child's going to be a child. It's not always going to be good, and it really, that communication is just an opportunity for you to teach your child and work on whatever needs to be worked on at home. Okay. But you can't do that if you're just automatically assuming your child's not wrong.
Okay. Now let's talk about the child who tells you about the teacher and that parent jumps on the teacher's side and the teacher's wrong. Witness that as well.
Man, I would say that.
Look, listening audience, she's nodding her head yes. So clearly she has witnessed this too. Go ahead.
I would just say that's a symptom of having a disconnect from your child, and there's a lack of communication and trust. No.
I'm saying the teacher is the bad one.
The teacher is the bad one, but the parent doesn't believe the child. The parent believes the teacher.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like that is a reflection of not having a strong relationship with your child. Like, you don't really know your child that well. And that's something that can be improved upon. You can get to know your child. But I would say that is an indication that there's a disconnect between you and your child. And sometimes, to be fair, sometimes you just don't know. You weren't there, and it's just like a 50-50, and you don't know whose side to choose, so to speak. And I would think in that situation, it's just best to be moderate and stay in the middle ground and say, well, I don't know how accurate the teacher is. I don't know how accurate my child is, and just try to maintain the middle and not pick a side.
Okay. Carla Lee from Facebook said people already need excuses not to go to church, and we as Christians help them by judging. Yeah, but the Bible says if you see your brother fallen, help them up. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, let's go down here. You want to go ahead and read that one?
Sure. So Kwanzaa North of Facebook said, but parents should know their child. Exactly. And but I think that people will assume that you're just going to organically know your child. And I think when you look at a lot of like the failures in parenting, is that ambivalence and not being really intentional and putting forth effort into that relationship. I think people, unfortunately, especially when we're talking about like women and motherhood and stuff, will think, oh, it'll just come to you naturally. Not always, you know. And so when it's not there, A, acknowledge, realize it's not there, and then B, be proactive and intentional and putting forth the work to correct that or make it be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like I said, Patrick Teahan on YouTube, he talks about childhood abuse survivors, talks about how a lot of people, parents in toxic family systems, think that they're great parents. And there's this huge disconnect between what the parent thinks or chooses to believe versus what the child is experiencing. So just saying you should know your child, a parent should know that's not a basis in reality. It's just don't make assumptions. It's actually foolhardy to make that kind of assumption. I feel like all relationships you should be periodically checking the status and the health of that relationship, but particularly with your child.
You know what's usually missed or looked over? The fact that that child is made of two people. Now, what I do, I'll constantly, certain sides you'd be like, oh, that's from your father. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, that's from, you know what I mean? Because it's not you. So we know ourselves, and we know ourselves enough to look at your child and know, yep, that's me all day. Now, with one of my children, I always tell them, just tell me the truth. Then that way I know what to work with. Do I take my children's side? Let me tell you something. Publicly, 100%. As soon as we get in the car, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am not going to turn on my child. And see, you have a lot of teachers and principals, I'm using air quotes, that want to see you chastise your child in front of them. I am not going to humiliate my child in front of their peers or their stranger, or stranger. I'm going to take them privately and be like, now, you were wrong. That's not right. And I call a spade a spade. Now, the little girl, which I knew she was strange a long time ago, she was about 5 or 6. No, she was about 5. And I told her to clean her room. And I said, why didn't you clean your room? I asked the question. And guess what she said? I didn't feel like it. I had to respect it.
I was saying that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. And it was the truth. I was like, okay. So her going to school, I already knew what they was in for. I was like, oh. She was very direct. She used to be telling her dad, tell me you love me. He was like, oh, she gonna get somebody a hard time. But that's what she needed. And she said exactly what it was she was over. She was little. But I knew what I had. And I was like, okay, that's me. She ain't feel like it. The things that we think about, we be like, get out of here. I don't feel like she said it. Got to respect it because she did exactly what I asked. The truth. The other child, sitting there, if he ain't like his medicine, he was like, I said, well, what's the problem? I don't like the way it makes me feel. Guess what? Choices. You got that. I'm not going to make you do something if you don't want to. But here's the deal. If you don't like the way that makes you feel, you need to act accordingly. And we broke it down. These behaviors, this medicine is for these behaviors. What are you going to do? Okay, well, I'll make sure I do blah, 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 because I don't like the way that makes me feel. So we have to listen to them. Definitely got to listen to them. And that's where the problem is. It was an old saying, old adage, children are to be seen, not heard. But that's how a lot of other things come into play. Right. So listen and know. The school used to call all the time. I used to be like, yeah, I'm on my way. And then I'm looking at the big picture and I'm like a teacher called me because he wouldn't tie his shoe. How much energy you gonna put into him not tying his shoe? It was so weird. And she called me at work. He still won't tie his shoe. So you have other students that is missing class time because you focused on this child won't tie his shoe. Well, leave it untied. Let him leave it untied. When he fall down, boom, guess what? You should have tied your shoe.
Right. Life lesson.
Right. But I questioned her authority. regarding and her mindset. Like, you really about to talk about tying the shoe? Like, you done took 20 minutes, left your class unattended to call me to tell me that he wouldn't tie his shoe.
Yeah.
That was strange for me. I was like, we doing what we do here. But people aren't built the same and everybody is different. There's no cookie cutter. A cookie cutter that's going to tell you all the students are going to be this way. But I think it's important to defend, even in relationship as they are adults. I'll give you my advice if you want it. Now, what I do, and this is just me, because I told you, once your children become adults, you transition from parent to counselor. My thing is this, and I'm just giving y'all that. I always say make good decisions, but here's the deal. If you did not consult me on the decision, don't consult me on the consequences. Go to whoever gave you that great advice and you took on the consequences. And that's just me. There you go. Now that's how I roll as adults. So now, they'll call, bum, especially if there's money involved. They didn't even ask. Now, if I give you some bad advice, I got you. But if you take, that bad advice and not mine, I don't know what to tell you. Well, you got to figure it out. It's going to be a longer road. Now you want my advice? This is how you could get out of that. And sometimes you can't get them out of it. You know what I mean? But hey, that's what it is. What did she say? Let's see. Oh, Salvage said, I know, right? Not because of the untied shoe. Right. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? All right, here we go. Confession. I saw my crush. Should I tell him?
You saw them.
She saw her lifetime crush. Should she tell him?
Sure. Why not?
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Oh, walk up and say, oh, hi, how are you, such and such? And they'll be like, yeah, I am. And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, I just wanted to let you know that I always liked you, always found you attractive, and leave it at that. Because it seems like if it's on her mind, that's why she asked. So, and it's not it's gonna go anywhere. It could. It's very unlikely though.
Now, why is it? It is unlikely.
Yeah, it's very unlikely. So it's just like, why not? It's not the end of the world. It won't be that, and they'll probably be really flattered and move along with their day. Maybe you'll get a picture, an autograph.
Autograph? Lose an autograph.
I assumed it was a celebrity.
But if not,
be flattered.
But you know what? It could very well go somewhere.
Right. If it's a regular person, yeah.
Dang, they got to be regular on this month. Like if it's a regular person, like if you see him at the corner store, girl, tell him. But I think that you should. I believe in dying empty. I believe say whatever is on your mind right now, because if something happened tomorrow, ain't promising something happened, you'd be like, oh man, I should have told them that I always liked them.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Okay, Salvage of YouTube said it makes good for small talk. And maybe both of them happen to be single and be like, oh, okay, well, let's see where they can go. And that could be your person.
Or, he's not single, but when he does get to be single, he'll have you in the back of his mind.
How about that?
So.
That could be it. All right, let's talk about these BBLs. There is a young lady, one of four. She passed away. She went over to Mexico, got a BBL. Okay. Came back with meningitis and died, child.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Well, I didn't see, because it's happening so frequently. I've actually stopped keeping up. The last one I heard of was Jackie O. And she
her mommy makeover.
Yeah, she had a mommy makeover in America. Then, of course, the very impressive internet sleuths started digging into the doctor's history, and, he had a really shoddy record. Oh,
what's the one over here from Jackie O? Had a shoddy record, too?
Yeah, the one that did Jackie O's mommy makeover. And apparently he was actively being sued by a patient whom he did fat transfer to the buttocks, and he perforated her intestine or her colon, and so he just sewed her back up and left it. So she started profusing waste into her body, and she almost
Sepsis,
died, was incredibly ill. She was provided no aftercare, just like Jackie O, just like threw her out basically. But that also goes back to like the sort of like the different statuses of like surgeons, and to get the aftercare, like the medically supervised aftercare, like that's a higher level. And so he's literally in court right now over that previous case before he did her surgery.
See, you got to look at it. Now, this young lady, she went to get a BBL and some liposuction. Now, I did talk to some younger girls, nurses, and the one was sitting there talking about she wasn't going. She was like, I'm not getting ready to go on no diet. I'm not doing no exercise. It's a lot easier just to pay the money and get lipo. So that's where we are now. And I actually, I got that from the horse's mouth. I was outdone. I was like, oh, they was like, yeah, I'll just spend 10 grand and go do blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've recently got more into like watching like videos on like plastic surgery and stuff, but that's more like facial stuff. And there's plastic surgeons with social media platforms where they share information and stuff and their expertise and their knowledge in the field. And it, I feel like it's one of those things you should really be careful of. And that's just in the face area, but you talking about your whole body and going under and, fat transfer, it's getting more and more dangerous. Even though we've had like breast augmentation for so many years, now they're really starting to come out with this implant sickness. It's like, is it really worth it? Like, is it that serious? And so this surgeon was talking about ideally what you want to do with breast implants is go smaller than what you think you want. And then it's an all cosmetic surgery is like an ongoing thing, because the implants aren't meant to stay in there forever. Like, you're supposed to replace them after like 10 or 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, and but all this is for vanity.
Exactly. And it's just like, not only that, and if you read about the implant sickness, it's like pretty serious. Like, you want to feel that way all the time? Oh, so for some titties? I don't know.
I get that's what's winning. So they're like, okay, this is the most popular thing. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take my chances. Let's get into this, what you dreamed about. Implosion. The rich people problems. Paying $250,000 to die. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been following that case. It's really, I guess, okay.
We're talking about the Titan, what is it called?
Submersible.
The submersible submarine.
Yeah. And so I've been following the story since it broke, and I think it's captured a lot of people's attention, but for me personally, I am an avid reader. I like trashy books, like paperbacks. And so, I mean, to me, there's so many parallels between just like it's like art imitating life, or, life imitating art, because it's the whole story is like something that you would read about in a fantasy novel, Well,
yeah, let's speed this up a little bit. Now, after I was listening to it, these people died on Sunday, and they released it after. They said an implosion, not an explosion, so an implosion. People, let's gather that and get that in your mind. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
So they lost contact on Sunday.
Yeah.
Why did they take so long to tell us?
Well, so from what I understand, Ocean Gate, the company, waited 8 hours to report it to the Coast Guard missing, even though they had lost their communication an hour and a half or whatever into the expedition. They did not report it because there was a well-established history of losing communication with the submersible in previous dives. And that's why they didn't report it missing until it was time for them to return, and they did not. But I've also read that the last known communication between the sub and the mothership was that they were dropping their weights and they were starting to ascend, which means something is wrong and we're abandoning the mission, allegedly. So that's why so first of all, there was an 8-hour delay before the Coast Guard was even brought into the loop. Secondly, they were diving in international waters, which was very intentional on the part of the company, because the vessel was not certified, and you don't have to be certified in international waters. And so there was a little, I mean, I think it was very impressive the way the U.S. Coast Guard, the French people, and the Canadian authorities all came together and tried to save these people, even though there's never been, there was not a playbook on how to save someone from that deep in the ocean, because it's really hard to get down there. There's also only like 10 submarines or submersibles that can even go down to that depth, and they weren't right there on the spot. They were scattered across the world, and the closest one was like 3 days away. And so allegedly the U.S. government has microphones in the ocean for, you know, intel and secret stuff like that, and they heard a big sound like an explosion. It picked up on the microphones. They immediately reported it to the Coast Guard. So the Coast Guard knew that, but of course the Coast Guard could not say, like, oh, we're not going to search for these people because we heard a bang and we think that might have been them imploding. Like, you would want confirmation that those people were dead, not just a hunch or, you know, connecting the dots or whatever. And that's why they continued to search for the vessel, even though that was reported that they heard a loud bang around the time the submersible went missing. And so, yeah, and then the vessel that went down there and found it, it was 3 days away, and then it still took 2 hours to descend to that depth. And then when it got down to that depth, it took another 2 or 3 hours. It only took like an hour for it, the ROV, the remote operated vehicle, to find the remains of the Titan. So, and then on top of that, you know, if you've been following the case, there are lots of people, more and more people are coming out criticizing the company, the way it was ran, and the CEO, and just like the lack of safety precautions, because in other more expensive efforts, there is a ROV on the mothership. So the mothership could have hypothetically went down with their own ROV and found the Titan immediately after they lost contact, but that was another expense, and apparently was a lot of corner cutting.
All right, let me let y'all know this. So AmberDee has been following this from the beginning.
Yeah.
That she done dreamed she was the CEO. Now y'all already know. Let's talk about this war real quick before the end of the show. What war am I talking about? I'm talking about, we got Android versus the iPhone.
Okay.
Uptown Pizza versus Belleria Pizza.
Uh-oh.
Twitter versus Facebook.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh!
Elon called Mark out. Elon called Mark out to a fight.
Yeah. I think they're trying to make money. And I think,
well, they're going to make some money. I mean, I think this...
some big money, yeah.
This going to be bigger than, what's his name? The McGregor fight.
Oh, for sure.
Who you think will win? Who you got?
Elon Musk.
You got Elon?
That's who I would bet on, yeah.
And not Mark?
No, he seems like a typical, like, nerdy guy. Like, he don't have no bulk, no mass. And I feel like Elon Musk is way more vain. And so I feel like he just already has, a higher starting point.
Okay, well, Elon called Mark out. And Mark was like, what's the location? I'm down.
So hilarious.
You know these people had some lessons, some fighting lessons.
Right.
So,
I mean, is it going to be boxing or is it going to be like MMA?
MMA, because he invited him to the cage. So this is like some for real fighting. But I don't know. See, when you got this MMA stuff, see, this is like sparring. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they're like, oh no, you can't do that and you can't do that. I need to see a real scrap.
Right.
A street scrap, like no rules. This is what it's going to be.
Right. Yeah. So I think I would still bet on, I would say, Musk. That's
Musk. All right. Go ahead, AmberDee.
Okay, so Bobby W. Jefferson Jr. of Facebook said Team Samsung Android.
I'm with you. See, I'm Android.
Yeah.
I looked at the other ones. I was like, why these people? I can't even work an iPhone. You got one button to push. Like, come on.
it's too much. The platform is too different. Like I always had struggled trying to go from Android to
iPhone. So you team Android?
Oh yeah, I'm team Android.
Okay, team Android. I'm team Bellaria. The old Bellaria. I'm still looking for that taste. Down at the bottom of Logan Avenue, real dark where the street lights was out. Not these chains. I'm looking for the old lady. Like, I need that one. That's what I need back. But Uptown's cool. It's not too bad.
Okay.
All right. What we got? Go ahead.
So Kwanzaa North of Facebook said iPhone. Okay, she's brand. She's name brand.
Name brand. Okay, and she also said Bellaria.
Okay. Yeah.
Carter Lee said Android. Oh, we kicking it. The Androids is kicking it this morning.
Right.
Hey, Androids. Watching Shop Talk with Mel. Maury Povich. Now, y'all know he retired.
Right.
At the age of 83. Look, at the ripe age of 83.
Right.
Well, guess what? He is still not sitting down.
Go ahead.
He got a whole paternity test for you people.
Oh.
He got the whole paternity test for the people.
Hey.
And guess what it's called? His Maury Povich's home paternity test. Now, you know it's a whole bunch of them out there. But if you get Maury's, it says the results are in. That's the name of his. The results are in. Who is the pappy? So if you still out, look, if you out there fooling around and you will pass around, you don't know who the pappy is, get yourself one of them Maury Povich tests.
Right.
And find out who the pappy is. Because he's still doing it. I am not mad at him. Larsa Pippen. Larsa Pippen said that she will change her name. Now, you know she's dating. I'm going to catch y'all up real quick because we got a little bit of time. Larsa Pippen is now dating Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan.
Right.
Understand this. Y'all like, who is Marcus Jordan if I ain't say Michael Jordan's son? Larsa Pippen, she made a name for herself after she didn't divorce Scottie Pippen, which is Michael Jordan's second man.
Yeah.
Foul. But anyway, she said that she would change her name and she is open to having a child.
How old is she?
Old.
I know.
Carter Lee said she with Bellaria. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, this is just ties back into the whole our previous topic. Hoes get the rings. So, you know, more power to her. Good luck. I heard she received, in their divorce settlement, she just received 50% of his retirement fund.
Yeah, she just divorced him in 21.
Yeah, but they were together for 20 years or something?
I get that. But, this is son. They did speak to Michael Jordan and his wife, and they're just like, whatever. Because they want to know how they felt. He a grown man.
Right, and I'm assuming that his Michael Jordan's, who's the same, just like Scottie Pippen, chasing the hoes. I would assume that his wealth is protected, especially
who, the son's wealth?
No, his own wealth is protected from his son's poor choices because people are saying, "Oh, now she's going after Jordan's money." I'm like,
She's trying to secure the bag if she says she open to have a child.
She'd be open to his money, the son's money, but the son ain't got Michael Jordan's money. He'd have a chunk of it maybe, but that's pretty indirect.
Listen, you birth a grandbaby, grandparents is different. She having this grandbaby, I cannot. It makes me wonder, listen, if I was Michael Jordan's wife, I'd be like, did you want him? Like, what's happening? Did you want my husband? Were you looking at him like, what's really going on? Because they had to go on double dates.
But I feel like in that industry it's the same, and I feel like those men have a certain mindset, so it really isn't surprising at all. And I'm just not invested in it. And again, why am I going to be mad at the hoe? Like, good for you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Listen, this is a lesson for the fellas. Lesson for the fellas. Gotta watch out, because she always trying to secure the bag.
Right.
And that's why some of these guys is like, no, I'm not dealing with somebody who have nothing to lose. And I'm not dealing with someone who has nothing. So in this case, it sounds like Marcus Jordan is winning, because if she got half of his retirement, they get together. He's sitting pretty.
Right. I mean, it sounds like he wouldn't have to worry about his son and, having to support or take care of his son, because she'll do it.
How about that?
So, oh well.
Well, listen, it is alleged that the aunt of the duo, the father-son duo, the nephew did not want to go on this trip, this road trip or water trip.
Yeah.
And he went because of his father's. It was supposed to be a Father's Day gift. So today's footnote is, when in doubt, pull out. Thank you very much for your time. I thoroughly enjoyed all of you for tuning in and listening and watching and commenting on Shop Talk with Mel. Follow us on all socials and on your favorite podcast. You can go back and listen to old shows or this one if you actually missed the beginning. Wherever you get your podcast, tune in at Shop Talk with Mel. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. You already know. And also, listen, if you're in the area, go ahead and turn on Star 94.7. You can check out your girl. I'm on till 3 o'clock. And if you are not in the area, you can go to 947-STAR. Kick it with your girl and roll with me with the best variety of hits and throwbacks. Your girl got you covered. We be rocking out. Until next week, people, you know what it is. 1, 2, 3. Shop Talk. Right here every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. We got you covered. And keep those emails coming and those comments coming. I appreciate it. And I will read them live. Email me at shoptalkwithmel@yahoo.com. And if you would like to be a guest, you can do that the same exact way. shoptalkwithmel@yahoo.com. Or the phone number is below, 619-902-2287. Send a text. My team will get back with me and we'll be calling you. Peace.